Milo here again, and I had a friend today ask me to do the fastest DT build I could do, and I worked it out as best I could, trying, and I got to 6 minutes and 13 seconds was my fastest DT build I could do. I felt that was great, it was good, it was quick, pretty powerful, but I wanted to do one better. So what I decided to do was keep working to try to get a robotics facility fit into the build and get a Warp Prism. And I felt that with the Warp Prism, the mobility of the DTs becomes far greater, and pretty much you can drop one off at the front of the base, drop one off on the side, and then drop one off at the mineral line, and then warp in more by the time you get there. And in our leagues, I think people would kind of just shit their pants, I guess is the best way to put it, if that happened. Very, very powerful. So pretty much what I'm doing here is I got my pylon very early, gonna get my gateway here, 98 supply, and then I'm waiting to save up for the assimilator, and then I'm gonna save up for the second assimilator here, all at 8 supply. Then I'm gonna start making my workers, funnel them out. I just did this as a test game versus the computer, just because I just want to keep trying again instead of keep failing on the ladder trying to do this. So I feel that this could be very strong against anybody in the lower leagues, even catch a high player off guard if they're not scouting. Of course, if you're doing this in the game, you're going to want to wall it in so they don't see what you're doing. I just did it next to my base for convenience. As soon as the gateway's done, you get a cybernetics score. Going to move up the tech tree, keep making probes, going to boost them again. You got 3 people on each gas. It's a very time sensitive build. It can be tweaked, probably just a little bit faster, but this is pretty much what I came up with, and I was very satisfied. Make another pylon, just so I can keep my supply going. I'm here on the red. Put the production tab up here. Cycle finishes, you're going to be dropping the Twilight Council. Going to boost another probe. That could have been down a little bit faster. I think my hotkey I pressed VV a bunch of times instead of pressing C for the council. Chrono boost your warp gate research. So you see my gas is getting pretty high. You need 250 gas for the Dark Shrine. You need 100 gas for the Robo Bay. So I drop the Robo Bay. Money's coming around to get the 100 minerals I need. Bam, Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine takes about 100 seconds to build. Takes 65 seconds to make a warp gate, or to make a gateway. So I'm trying to time in the 2 extra gateways in time with the Robo, so that it all comes together at about the same time, and you'll see here in a little bit. It's quite beautiful. Load out, keep chrono boosting that warp gate. You want to try to have the warp gate finish slightly before the Dark Shrine, along with the gateways, so that you can turn them into warp gates right before this finishes, right before the Dark Shrine finishes. Then I start making my Warp Prism, which costs us 200 minerals. See, I'm just keeping my supply tight right here. I'm going to build one more pylon here shortly. There it is. Just to get the supply that I need. Chrono boosting to finish out the research. Once it's done, start turning the gates and the warp gates, just as the Dark Shrine's finishing. And I warp in. And there's the Warp Prism. Load them up in there, and then you just go kill your enemy. I think this is awesome, because pretty much what you can do is, you got your opponents, if they're just doing a 1 base action or 2 base action, you can drop off one right here, hit the front, get them freaked out, fly up top here, drop one here, fly over here, drop here, open up the warp gate, and by then you'll have enough to at least warp in 2, but then maybe just get a zealot. make sure when you're back at home, you can build a pylon. You're going to have your minerals running high if you're waiting on your warp gates. You can actually expand on this. You already have 3 gateways and a robo. You're going to get some money up. You can get a robotics bay. Go to Colossus if this fails. There's a lot of things you can do after this. This should really offset your opponent in the lower levels. So hope you enjoyed this video, and any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.